In this video, we're going to look at how to find the equation of a circle given 3 points on the circle. So find the equation of the circle that passes through the points A, B, and C, and we're given the points. So I'm going to show you two ways to do this. The first way, we're going to use the equation of a circle, or the general equation of a circle, x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. And then we're going to sub our x and y values in for each point, and we're going to create three equations in terms of g, f, and c. So solving then three simultaneous equations, which you already have done in algebra. So subbing 3, 0 in, we're going to get 3 squared plus 0 plus 2 times x times g, so that's 6g, plus 0 again, plus c is equal to 0. So we're going to get 6g plus c is equal to minus 9. Now we're going to sub b in, 4 minus 3. We're going to get 4 squared plus minus 3 to be squared plus 4 times x times g, so that's going to give me 8g. And then we're going to have minus 3 by 2, so minus 6f plus c equals 0. So we'll end up with 8g minus 6f plus c is equal to, we're going to have a 16 and a 9, so we're going to have minus 25 when we bring those two across. Now we're going to sub c in, 5 minus 2. So we're going to get 5 squared plus minus 2 to be squared plus 5 by 2, so we're going to have 10g minus 2 by 2, so minus 4f plus c equals 0. So we're going to have 10g minus 4f plus c is equal to, we have a 25 and a 4, so we're going to have a minus 29. So at this point, there's multiple ways of solving. If we have an equation with just two variables, we could write it in terms of one of the variables. So I could say here, c is equal to minus 6g minus 9. And then I could sub that in here, and then I just have two equations in g and f. So let's do that. So we're going to have 8g minus 6f minus 6g minus 9 equals minus 25. So that's going to give me, in terms, we're going to have 2g minus 6f, and we're going to have a minus 9 going across to be a plus 9. So we're going to have minus 25 plus 9, which is minus 16. Now we're going to sub it into this one. So we're going to have 10g minus 4f minus 6g minus 9 equals minus 29. So we're going to have 4g minus 4f, 4g minus 4f, and we're bringing the plus 9 or minus 9 across to be a plus, so we're going to have minus 20. We could divide across by 4 if we wanted to, and actually if we divide across by 4 and we divide this one by 2, I can see I can have the same amount of g's. So I'm going to have g minus 3f is equal to minus 8, and this one dividing it by 4, I'm going to have g minus f is equal to minus 5. So I'm going to bring this one up to meet this one, or this one down. Either way, it doesn't matter which direction you go. So I'm going to change the signs, or multiply by minus 1, and always write down what you're doing. So we're going to get minus g plus f is equal to plus 5. So I should be able to solve for f. I'm going to have minus 2f is equal to minus 3. So f is going to be 3 over 2. And bringing my f back across here, I can get g, and that will enable me to get c. So I'm going to have g minus 3 over 2 equals minus 5. So g is equal to minus 5 plus 3 over 2. So that's minus 5 plus 1.5, so that's going to be minus 3.5. G is equal to minus 7 over 2. And now just to solve for c, well, we have c in terms of g. C is equal to minus 6g minus 9, and g was minus 7 over 2. So c is equal to minus 6 by minus 7 over 2 minus 9. So c is equal to 42 over 2. So that's going to give me 21 minus 9, which is 12. So I'm just going to write my values down here. I have my G, I have my C equals 12, I have my F, and now we need to sub these back into my general equation of a circle, x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So I have my x squared plus y squared, and I have 2g, so that's going to be, just do a little bit of rough work just to make sure we have it right, minus 7 over 2 by, that's my g, by 2 by x, so I'm going to get minus 7x. Then I have plus 2gx, I put the wrong f in, did I? No, 2fy, sorry, 2fy, 2 by 3 over 2 by y, so I'm going to get plus 3y, and then plus 12 equals naught. Okay, if we look at another way to do this question, I'm just going to draw a sketch of this circle with my points A, B, and C. To give me a little bit more knowledge, I can find out where it crosses the x-axis by letting y equal 0. So you can see if y is equal to 0, we're going to be left with x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So that factorizes to be x minus 3 by x minus 4. So you can see it crosses the x-axis at 3, which is the point A, and at 4. So it just gives me one more point on this circle. So I'm going to just sketch this circle. Hopefully I do a half decent job. Okay, not too bad. The center, we figured out G and F. Now the center, when it's written in this form, is minus G minus F. So the center here is 7 over 2 minus 3 over 2. So 3.5 is here and minus 1.5 approximately here. Okay, so it's not a bad sketch. And the reason I'm doing this is just to show you the geometry involved in this question. So B and C, here and here. This is what's called a chord. And a line that bisects the chord is perpendicular to the center. So this is the point, this is the midpoint of BC. So we can use equation of lines here, and some people prefer to do it this way. And this is, well, I could use the chord AC. I could also use this chord here because I can see the midpoint quite easily. So that's perpendicular, and that should be straight down to there for my right angle and my right angle, and we already have that point 7 over 2. So if I can get the point of intersections of the two green lines, I'll be able to find the center of the circle. Then I can get the distance, say from B to here, where we have the distance already. We know it drops down 1.5 from the x-axis. We can get the distance then from one of the points to the center, and that'll give me the length of the radius. So let's have a look at going about it that way. So the midpoint of BC, let's write B and C down. Well, we have them here on top of each other. So add them together, 9 minus 5, and divide by 2 to get 4.5 minus 2.5. And does that look right on our triangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. It does look just, it's about 4.5. So we have the midpoint of BC. Now we have a point on this line here. So all I need to do is get the slope of that line to get the equation of it. So the slope of BC, and then I can invert it. So the slope of BC, we can see it's the change in y over the change in x, and you guys can identify that this is positive. So it's positive slope because it's rising from left to right. So the change in y is 1, and the change in x is also 1. So the slope of BC is 1. So the perpendicular slope has to be minus 1. So now we can get the equation of this line. We have our slope, and we have the midpoint of BC, which we got to be 4.5 minus 2.5. So putting this into the equation of a line, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. We get y plus 2.5 is equal to minus 1 times x minus 4.5. So we're going to get y plus 2.5 is equal to minus x plus 4.5. So I'll bring the x and y together. So we're going to get x plus y, if I bring the x to the left, equals 4.5 minus 2.5, which is equal to 2. So now we need the equation of this line here, which is straightforward enough. It's a perpendicular drop from the x-axis, so it has to be x is equal to whatever the value is where it crosses the axis. So the equation of this line is x is equal to, and it was 3.5. So really quickly, we should be able to then solve the two equations. So I have x equals 3.5, so minus x equals minus 3.5. So I'm going to get y is equal to minus 1.5 or minus 3 over 2, which is going to give me the center of the circle. And just look up here, minus 3 over 2 is what we got for one of the center points. We got that already. So now we just have to solve for x. If y is equal to minus 3 over 2, I have x minus 3 over 2 is equal to 2. So x is equal to 2 plus 3 over 2. And that's the 7 over 2 that we had as well up here. So we have the center, and now we just need the distance from one of the points to the center. So we can't use this point here because it's not on the circle itself. So let's get the distance from A to that point. So I'll just draw a little right angle triangle. And then we'll take that right angle triangle here and just write down our values to get the distance to the diagonal. Or do we have enough? We do have enough information to do that. So this distance here is just halfway across between 3 and 4, so that has to be a half. And how far have we dropped down? We dropped down 3 over 2, the y value of the center. So to get the length of the radius, it's the square root of 3 over 2 squared plus 1 over 2 squared, which is the square root of 9 over 4 plus 1 over 4, which is equal to the square root of 10 over 4, or the square root of 10 over 2. So we apply this information. We have our center and we have our radius. So our center, just confirm what it was x is equal to 7 over 2, and y was minus 3 over 2. So when we have the center, we can write x minus the 7 over 2 to be squared, plus y plus 3 over 2 to be squared is equal to the radius squared. Well, the radius squared is just going to give me 10 over 4. You can see the radius is root 10 over 4, so we square it, we'll get 10 over 4. Now you could, that is fully correct if you were asked this question and get the equation of this circle, but let's just see that it matches up to the previous one that we got. This one here, x squared plus y squared minus 7x plus 3y plus 12. So let's just multiply out our brackets. X squared minus 7 over 2x twice, so that's minus 7x, plus 49 over 4 if we square 7 over 2. Then we have plus y squared, plus 3 over 2y twice, which is 3y, plus 3 over 2 squared, 9 over 4, and I'm going to bring that 10 over 4 across and let it equal 0. So I have x squared plus y squared, I have minus 7x plus 3y, and I have 49 over 4 plus 9, that's 58. Take away 10 is 48 over 4, and 48 over 4 is 12. Plus 12 equals 0. Just double check, they're both the same. X, y, 7, 3, 12. X, y, minus 7 plus 3 plus 12. So a nice way to do this question. And sometimes you may need to do this question this way. So we're going to do another video on this. So attempt this question again yourself, and then the next question in the next video, try and do it both ways.